Alright, hello all you crazy people out there, my name is Dragonite, and welcome back to Harvest December. Sitting opposite from me, Sune was pushing food into Kohai's mouth with her chopsticks. What are you doing, Sune? Yuki does that to Masaki-kun, Yukari-chan does it to Masaki-kun, so I thought maybe I could try it with you too. Wait, you make me sound really loose. Aren't you? I could not defend myself. How is it? You're an awesome cook, of course it's good. I knew you'd say that. But it still makes me blush every time. Here, have some more. Ah! Sune stuffed another mouthful of food into Kohai's mouth. Sune, please, I can feed myself. This reminds me of that documentary on making foie gras I watched the other day. Mizuho, I'm not trying to force feed him. Kohai glanced my way. I gave him a pointed look as if to say, see? Understand how it feels now? And Kohai gave me a dull look as if to reply, yeah, I get it now. By the way, I have a checkup with Dr. Manaka after school. Are you alright walking home by yourself? Yuki asked as she lifted her face from her lunch. Nowadays, she was hungry constantly. I'm not a baby, I'll be fine. You are a baby. You always need someone to cry on when something goes wrong in your life. Most of which is thanks to you, I might add. Haha, I suppose you're right. And I guess it's good timing. I've been invited to Nakahira-san's place because she's baked a cake. Are you out of your mind? You just pretty much detonated yourself. I snorted. If I don't come up and talk about it now, the punishment is only going to get worse when she finds out later. Get worse later when she finds out. You say that as if you think you're so clever, but do you realize you're a sad person, right? Anyways, here you go. I stood up and offered my cheek to Yuki with my hands on my hips. I gritted my teeth, waiting for the impact. A second passed. But, what are you doing? Waiting for punishment. You idiot. Yuki picked a stray grain of rice off my face with her chopsticks. It's just for a month, right? You mean you're going to punish me after that month is up, right? You sound as if I'm some kind of monster. Of course I do. I mean, he has a point, doesn't he? I'll remember that. Forgive me. Anyways, I'm going to be lenient since I know it's only for a month. I should be forgiving to my husband. It said it's healthier that way in a column I read in the monthly matrimony magazine. Thank you very much. Yuki nodded and returned wolfing down her lunch with a great appetite. Did she eat something funny? She's behaving so oddly, Mizuho asked as she studied Yuki. Maybe it's the other way around. What do you mean? We've all eaten something funny, we're just hallucinating. That was so much more convincing. Yukari chatted while we walked to her place, saying it would have been better if she could give me a freshly baked slice of her cake. I simply nodded to whatever she said. She lived quite far away from my home. Nakahira-san, has Al bothered you after that? She's really beautiful. I didn't mean to make you jealous or anything, I just asked out of concern. I'm standing right before you and you have to bring that up? I didn't mean to. If you're worried about the incident at the library, no, nothing happened after that. She answered as she looked straight ahead. I studied the expression on her face. Her smile had disappeared and she looked indifferent. It might be rude of me to think so, but I didn't think that she could make a face like that. I think I understand why Ao-san gets so angry at you. Why? We're here. She pointed at a house slightly bigger than my own. I'll have to warn you, things might get a bit weird, Yukari said as she placed her hands on her heart. It was my first time bringing a boy home. I didn't know how to answer her, so I simply nodded. Hey, look. There's somebody out in front of her house. It's Ao. She was riding her scooter looking at Yukari's house. She put on her goggles and sped away before we could call out to her. Yukari and I looked at each other and shrugged in confusion. Dad wasn't too bad, was he? Yukari said apologetically once we got to her room. Not too bad, no. I answered, knowing it was an understatement. Your parents must love you very much. Before we reached her room, her mother had grilled me about my future plans and annual salary. How would I know? Her dad seemed to be hiding something lethal behind his back. I was too young to die. I tried to be as polite as possible, but urged Yukari to quickly take me up to her room to avoid any further confrontation. Sorry it's a bit messy. It's not. I noticed her dangerously swollen closet door. There were pieces of clothing hanging out from the cracks. It's not that bad. Another understatement. I looked around her room again. It was intriguing even without the bursting closet. Don't stare. Sorry, it's just new to me standing in a girl's room. Yuki's room was a traditional Japanese room and Mizuho and Mom's room were filled with games and toys. Shiro didn't even have a room. Sune probably had the girliest room among my friends, but unfortunately I hadn't visited it before. But Nuki-chan said that you are super familiar with girls. You make me sound so predatory. Aren't you? You actually believed that. It's just that Your home is so different from mine. That's because you're a boy. No, I wasn't talking about the house, but your entire home. Takaki, my dad, didn't come home very often, and Mom was overly liberal. Yukari's family was so stereotypical, and Yukari's family and house was so stereotypical. It was the ideal peaceful home. It was so easy to forget what normal was when you were used to a lunatic environment. Something ideal could be somebody else's everyday reality, just as Yukari's home was. This is ideal. Yukari tilted her head after I explained my surprise. She wasn't confused at what I was saying, she just couldn't understand why I would feel it was so strange. I doubted she'd understand. There goes my 3DS stylus. Which I just kind of picked out of the slot because I don't know. It was bothering me, and my finger was like sitting on top of it. I guess that's a compliment, right? It's ideal, I repeated. To me, ideal wasn't necessarily a positive thing. I'll go get us some cake now, please wait here. She put her bag down and left the room. I sat down on the floor formally with my legs tucked under my bottom. This was the way I sat every time I received punishment. I realized I was getting depressed just by sitting this way. I wished I wouldn't associate my way of sitting with bad memories. I tried to disconnect from my thoughts. It was impossible. I teared up a little, but I rethought the reason why I was sitting like this now. It was probably because I was nervous. It was because I was nervous, without a probably. That's why I thought I was sitting with my back straight. I scanned the room. It was natural for me to do so, being someone timid. I was so constantly aware of my surroundings. Wow, this is new. When people saw something for the first time, they would always compare it and try to find things they could relate to, or things that were exactly the way they imagined to be. I did the same. Yukari's room had no harsh lines. There were many soft toys lined up on her bed. It fitted the image of girl's room I had in my mind. In fact, it fitted my imagination so well I was feeling uncomfortable. Still, I kept studying the environment I was in. There was a long body pillow on her bed. Great. Near her closet, there was a stack of clean laundry waiting to be put away. Right on top of the stack, there was a tiny scrap of triangular material printed with strawberries on it, and I knew exactly what that was. It was all female pieces of armor that protected the doors to heaven from men. I stiffened and kept staring at it. I could hear Yukari talking with her mother downstairs. Her room was right above the kitchen. Her mother was suggesting to drug my coffee. But I didn't care about that, not at this moment. The piece of material had creases. Proof it had been folded before, but unfolded. I found my family's laundry too, so I was extremely familiar with what I was looking at. Why, oh why, didn't you keep it out of my sight? I stared at the wet panty sitting on the stack right in the center of the room. Who keeps their laundry in the center of the room?
Hey.
I felt bad looking at it, but it felt worse for not looking when it was natural for a teenage boy to be curious. This was awkward. What should I do? I said out loud, but of course there was no answer. I just kept staring. I had to do something about it. Do something, Masaki, Gentleman Konno, before she gets back and feels embarrassed, I told myself. He's gonna, like, knock it over or something, isn't he? I didn't have much time to think. There's only one solution. I fold it and put it... Awkwardness has gone up by 1. I shifted myself to the pile of laundry quickly. Excuse my rudeness. I bowed to the sacred piece of material. I studied the other pieces of laundry. Thankfully, Yukari's family used the same method the Konno family used to fold laundry. Good, this wouldn't take me 5 seconds. Now I shall begin the procedure. I picked up the panties with my fingers. I wasn't sure if you preferred tea, but I made some coffee. She opened her mouth in horror as she watched me dangle her underwear between my fingers. Banzai! I yelled and threw my hands up in the air in celebration of surrender, I do not know. Flop. Panties landed on Yukari's head. Excuse me while I go laugh in the corner. From then on, I don't really remember what happened. There were 2 screams. Yukari tossed the tray she was holding upwards in surprise. It had cake on it. White and pink strawberry shortcake. I crossed my arms before me in an attempt to protect myself. No! Yukari screamed as the cake hit me in the face. There had better be a picture of this on the top screen in a moment. As soon as I hit A, I want to see it. I screamed. There is no picture of Masaki with cake on his head. I am giving this a bad rating on the eShop. I'm so sorry, Masaki-kun. Please stop apologizing. I was careless. We were sitting by her bed, having a pot of freshly remade coffee. It was slightly warm and contained milk and sugar. A tray was on the floor. It had newly sliced cake sitting prettily on clean saucers. Wow, I'm still alive. If Yuki was here, I would think I would be rolling around on the floor in agony by now. You were, from the scalding. Yuki's punishments is nothing compared to scalding coffee. I knew you were trying to sound tough, but it's not working, rather. There is no cake on his head. There is no cake on his head. Why is there no cake on his head? These authors are a disappointment. Did you have to bring her up now? I was just trying to make conversation. It's usually Yuki or Shiro that gives me physical pain. I'm saying I'm right here with you. Yukari leaned on me as I drank my coffee. I was used to having girls stay close. Yuki and the others liked doing this all the time. But for some reason I was sensitive to her weight. I watched her cut the cake with her fork and take a dainty bite. Everything she did drew my attention. Yukari Nakahiri was right. She was right here with me. You're ideal. I touched her cheek. I heard her drop her fork. It clattered noisily on the plate. I could feel her cheeks burn. Her eyes darted everywhere, first to me, then to her surroundings. I couldn't believe what I was doing. I didn't even realize I had moved to touch her. You're so soft. Softness. It was something that Yuki didn't have. It was already mid-September. I was going too far. Are you sure that's all you want to do? She placed her hand on top of mine. I wasn't sure. I looked at her hand for a long, hard time. That's as far as I'd go. Or else, I might do something we'd regret. Let go of her, now. We were only together for a limited time. We had to draw a line. We had to be rational. Think about what we're doing. Time wasn't the only problem, I knew that. But here I was, with my hand on her cheek. Don't. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have. No, I mean, you need to do something I need you to do something we'd regret. She took my hand off her cheek. The cold air brushed against my palm. I knew it was better that way, to let go. But physically, I was aching to touch her again. She granted my wish partly, but keeping my hand in hers. I felt like a needy child. You're trying not to hurt me, she teased. She was smiling, but it didn't reach her eyes. Am I right? I know that's unrealistic. It's alright. I'm prepared to cry my heart out when we say goodbye. That only makes me hesitate more. No, you're supposed to make me cry a lot. I can't eat cake if we keep holding hands. Eat with one hand. She tightened her grip on me. I wondered whether I should squeeze her hand back. I knew she wanted me to, but it would hurt her later. It was easy to see that we would get hurt in the near future. I almost let out a sigh of frustration. I had stepped in too far in this short period of time. For a brief moment, I thought I wanted to stay by her side forever. Alright, we'll stay this way. It was too late. Nakahira-san? Oh my god! She let go of my hand, spun around, and dived into her bed face down. I think I just said the most embarrassing thing in my life. She hollowed, the top half of her body hidden under the blankets. I can't believe how vulnerable she was. My slightest actions could affect her so badly. Suddenly, I had a load of weapons in my hands, and my target was eagerly pointing at their bullseye. This should be the other way around. So what should I do to make you cry? Whoa! The creature under the blanket jumped. You're actually asking me for specific directions? To be honest, I was hoping maybe something would happen, but things are moving too fast. My blanket covers are old and I don't have any new sheets either, but Nuki-chan said you were a real beast, so I guess you wouldn't care and just go with whatever and just push me down and have your way. Wait, Nakahira-san. Please, don't raise your voice. Remember where we are. Oh! She jumped out of the bed. Falling to the floor on all fours, she yelled. Daddy! Mommy! Don't come into my room and don't eavesdrop, okay? That's not... Thundering footsteps came up the stairs. The door burst open. Why is door capitalized? The doorknob almost twisted off by angry hands. I tried opening my mouth to defend myself. But before I could say anything, Yukari's dad had swung his golf club down. Ow. Daddy, you're so short-tempered. I didn't think that was the case, but I never got a chance to know him. I passed out at the second blow. Oh dear. My thoughts exactly. Anyway, I'm going to end this off here. That was entertaining as always. I hope you all enjoy that. My name is Dragonite, and I will see you all later.